Well, I want to address the question about what is Trump's actual net worth. Now, I'm not going to be able to tell you something that I have privy information on what the actual records are, but I can give you something that's plain common sense. It's really accounting 101. It's just how it works in real estate. Now, I know Forbes has him around 4 billion net worth. Trump says his net worth is well over 10 billion, and then Bloomberg says 2.9 billion. Now, there's just something I want to tell you about when you're valuing real estate. You always put it on the books at cost. You know, if he bought some of these buildings and built some of them 20 years ago, and that's what the cost of construction is, and you have to remember that the cost of construction may be way less than even the market value at the time the building was completed, say in 1995 or 1987 or whatever it is. The cost of construction would be far below the actual market value. And in some of these places, real estate has gone up astronomically. I know the real estate boom has ended basically in the residential housing market in the beginning of 2007 was when the crash occurred. But the type of real estate Donald Trump is in, you know, especially with some of these golf courses near Miami and stuff that is prime land for retirement communities. Don't tell me that land isn't worth a few bucks. I'll tell you that. Oh, God. But everything is kept at the cost. Now, the only time on the books they will go to market value is if the market crashes. Say, for instance, it cost him, I don't know, $200 million to build his building or whatever the heck it is. And now the market is saying the retail value of that building is $120 million. You couldn't even buy it for that. You couldn't even build it for that much. Then you'll have to make at least some kind of annotation on the financial statements. Really, you should reduce the value to the lower market value. But if you built the building for whatever, $150 million, and it's worth $300 million now, 15 years later, which you have to figure the building would have been worth a lot more right from the beginning when you first built it, because of all the planning that's involved. It's these projects are just not undertaken haphazardly, like, oh, I'm going to decide to build a building here. No, you're actually looking at a long-term revenue stream, what it's going to provide for you. So when he's telling you, what I'm saying is, when he's telling you his net worth is at least in excess of $10 billion, I say it is accurate, even though Bloomberg is telling you 2.9 or Forbes is saying 4. It's not like anybody's really lying. It's just that the way it's being valued. But the true value would be well over $10 billion. Now, if all of a sudden, say, Trump had to dump all his holdings at once for cash, I guess the value would be really low because you had to sell. But given the right, time in the market, and you just, time of salesmanship and getting the advertisement out there. Plus, the other thing is, with these buildings, not only have they went up in value because of, the surrounding land went up in value, and the things, and you have to remember, the type of markets that Trump's in is not residential real estate. Yeah, maybe you could talk about residential real estate hasn't recovered, but he's in prime land in Chicago, New York, Miami area, even Chicago, Las Vegas. He's really, Las Vegas, I know, has been having some problems there, but still, it's like, for the most part, the values of his land, just the market values of the land and the buildings have gone up astronomically. But once you have a proven return on investment, you can show, pro formas out for the next 10 years. This is really what the investment is worth, because he's got a brand out there right now that's given him a proven revenue stream for decades. Yeah, and it's on the books at cost. Don't tell me, like if you build a building for, say, I'll just throw a number out there, $10 million, and you own that building for, say, 20 years. It's not like it's you owned your residence and maybe your residence is going up, but it's it's a different market he's in. The areas he's in, these land values and land values and commercial building values have went up a great deal. Unlike what's going on in the housing market. The resident, like a lot of people are familiar with the housing because they own houses. No, the type of real estate he's into, it's a much, much different market. These values have went up tremendously. But then if you have a proven, say for instance, if you build a building for, $120 million and it's brand new, that's one thing. If you have that same building that has a proven market of people using the facilities, the restaurant, the golf courses, or whatever's in there, the gambling, the casinos, and it's been going on for the last 10, 15, 20 years, and it's a brand recognition, people coming back every year, and that is a hell of a lot difference, not only from the cost of the building and the market of the area of real estate going up, but also the brand recognition you built up over that period of time where you're showing a major revenue stream coming in for the last, 10, 15, 20 years. And so you could say the value of the building is now, maybe even when it was first built, say the cost of construction was $120 million, maybe the retail value would have been $150 million. And then years later, it's worth $250 million just on real estate, the land and building values alone. Then on top of that, you put down a 15-year proven revenue stream coming from rentals, leaseholds, people using all the facilities, whatever, gambling, restaurants, spas, whatever's in there, golf course facilities. And that it's been proven that these income flows are coming from this building for all this time. You can add that to the price when you go to sell it. So it's not like residential market price of homes. And I think a lot of people don't really put this in their head when they're thinking about this. Now, this was like my area of an accounting and real estate. Not only, there was all types of real estate, not just the home building, not just the condos, but also large projects. And it is a fact, if somebody bought land at, just a pittance, whatever it was at a particular time, I don't even want to give a number, and it went up like 100 times, it's not going to show up on the books at the real market value. And Trump's been in business a long time. Some of those golf courses, the land must be astronomically valued, especially the ones down by Miami. And I can imagine what they're going to be valued when we get into this mini ice age. God, it makes me want to go south. He might change his mind about the golf courses. I don't know. You'd be thinking, I got to build some things here for people to stay where it's warm. So anyway, it's, neither Bloomberg's not lying, Forbes is not lying, and Trump is not lying. You're just getting different numbers for that reason I just outlined. Actually, the real value, there's the book value at cost, not showing, any appreciation of the land values over the years, which is one area. Then on top of it, that brand recognition name, where you're also a proven revenue stream that's been coming in for decades, that will be, they'll be coming in for the next upcoming decades again for the same type of facilities, for the same type of offerings that have been offered on those properties. It all goes into what the actual true value of that land is. It's not like it's a, it's a service asset too. And he's got a major, it's not like a hard asset that sits there that's just finite. There's a lot of people coming in and out of these facilities that he owns, and you got to figure in all that revenue. That's going to be figured in the price if it was ever sold. So when he's conservatively estimating his wealth is well in excess of $10 billion, without me even knowing all the details, I know what he means by it. It is accurate. It is accurate. I'm not 110% sure what is exactly he's about politically, because I know he was a little more left-leaning and not so many years ago, and now he's more right-leaning. I don't know what he is exactly politically, but as far as like the controversy over his actual worth, it would be very accurate to say his real net worth is well in excess of $10 billion. And what appears on the books, and that's not wrong, that's how you're supposed to do it. You only change the land value or building values to market if there's a significant difference between the actual cost and the market value, whereby the market value is much, much lower. If the market value is 100 times more than it cost you, now that you've had it a long time and it's you have a proven revenue stream coming in, you still keep it on the books at cost. That's exactly how you're supposed to do it. And that is why, and Bloomberg knows this, he knows this. So, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. So Trump is not lying about his net worth at all. So just leave it with that. Anyway, that's a fact. Even though I can't dig into the numbers exactly, but I can see exactly things that he's had on the books that if they're worth $4 billion by Forbes, he's had them for 20 years, plus he's got all this revenue stream coming in, that is all figured in the price if it was going to be sold. It's not like it's an empty shell with nothing, no business there going. Big, big, big difference. And even the empty shell is valued much higher now, considering where it's at in these major cities. Real estate has went through the roof in major cities. A lot of the areas he holds a lot of his main buildings. Now, he's not lying. It's accurate what he's giving you. He is worth that much.